We're coming to the part of the show now which is called Stories into Performance. And what we did when we started planning APA Fest was to say, let's collect stories from our community. Let's have people submit their stories to us. And people did. And some of the stories that you're going to see tonight are from people who submitted stories to us. Actual, true life stories. And what the companies have done here is taken their stories and turned them into pieces of performance, which have never been seen before by me, by you, by anybody. And the first two are drawn from members of our community. The second are drawn from a wider community. And the third is a written play, which has been around for a while, but is based on a true story. So they're all true stories. This is important. The reason this is important is because all of our stories are important. Every single one of us. Every single one of us is unique, and every single one of us has a unique story to tell. So what I'd like you to do now is to turn to the person on your left and congratulate them by giving them a round of applause. Because all the things they did before they got here tonight is their story. And it's unique, and they're special. So give them a round of applause, please. Now, I want you to give yourselves a round of applause, because all the things you did before you got here tonight are amazing, incredible, unique, and are you. And now, I want you to give me a round of applause, so I go away and then come back again. Thank you. Stories into performance, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel blessed that I'm living in Los Angeles, California, the city where I was sworn in as a United States citizen. It took me about 10 years to get my green card from the time that I had applied. It seems so long ago now. I consider myself a Chinese American, born in China.
Shanghai was the city where I was born. I lived in a huge house. My parents had a driver, several maids, and my 3 siblings each had a nursemaid after we were born. At a young age, my mom would take me to the Shanghai opera houses a lot, and often invited the actors over for dinner. I was bitten by the acting bug then. I would get on the big bed and use the sheets as the costume to act out the scenes. But a couple years later, my parents had to abandon their business and house.
To avoid the communist regime, the Red Guard began attacking and persecuting individuals like my parents who were seen as intellectuals or persons with traditional views. My father knew what was coming, so he made plans to save our family.
We took some valuables or whatever we had and fled to Hong Kong. With a family of 6 after a while, the money ran out, and we had to move into a wooden hut without electricity or indoor plumbing. One night, the house almost burned down. My parents had to learn how to speak Cantonese in order to communicate. My dad was a lawyer and entrepreneur in China, and my mom was a teacher, but they both could not work in their fields in Hong Kong. For a while, they had to do manual labor by making lampshades, sew sequins on evening handbags and slippers to survive. But they always tried to put us in private schools. Some days, this teacher would call out the names of students who had not paid the monthly tuition yet. I felt so ashamed and cried many times and told my mom.
But thinking about it, my parents did their best to try to make ends meet to support us. We had to walk a long way down from those huts to catch buses to go to school. We did not complain, just tried to study hard. Financially, things got better. My dad taught himself to speak English, and he got into the furniture business, expanding it to Okinawa. I went to the American Military Dependent High School on the military base there. That was where I learned my English.
During those years, Okinawa was a foreign country to us, and my American school was all foreign to me too. There were a handful of Asian-looking students, but they were all Americans born in the U.S. I had a hard time communicating for the first couple months. I remember I had this tiny dictionary that I used to get by until it was almost torn from so much use. There was no English as a second language those days because there were not too many foreign students like me. All the natives would be going to the local Japanese schools.
The high school years were very memorable. I tasted American food, learned ballroom dancing, watched football and baseball, tried out for the school plays and cheerleading, joined the chorus, learned to sing Broadway musical songs, celebrated American holidays, and watched American television shows, which is one way of learning English and the culture. During my senior year, I got together with 3 other girls and we competed in the talent show.
I'll march my band out, I'll beat my drum, and if I'm fanned out, your turn at bat, sir. At least I didn't fake it, hat, sir. I guess I didn't make it. Get ready for me, love, cause I'm a comer. I simply gotta march my heart's the drummer. No, nobody don't nobody is gonna rain on my parade. Wow, we won second prize. After graduation, us girls met up with some young soldiers to form a group that performed at officers' clubs around the island. We called our group the Majestic and the Royal Ladies. But my dad was so worried about me and said,
"Enough of this singing. You're going to college."
The day I left for college in New York, I remember turning my head to see my parents, brothers, and sisters waving at me. In that instant, I wanted to run back to them so bad. I couldn't bear to leave them behind. After I received my green card, I petitioned my parents to come to California. They did, and continued their business here in Los Angeles until they retired. I married and had 2 children, but I never lost sight of my dream of being an actress. The road is not easy. I became a Screen Actors Guild member. After 27 years, I became a Screen Actors Guild member working in television, films, and commercials. The road is not easy. Many auditions, but few bookings. But I will never give up. I'm on IMDb and Facebook.
Oh, hello. Have you ever experienced a piece of art that changed your life forever? Growing up in the Malaysian island of Penang, I never dreamed it would happen to me. When I was born, Malaysia was a British colony. They tried to teach us England is the motherland. Everything was English. I grew up on Beach Street in the city of Georgetown. We still sang, "God Save the Queen" and all that. When I went to school, I learned 2 languages, Mandarin Chinese and English. And I think it wasn't until like 4th grade that they added the native language of Malay. My father always told me, make sure you know Chinese and English. Malay's not that important to you. My father was a businessman with an eye to the outside world. And so it was almost as if I was predestined to leave Penang and venture out to that outside world and explore it myself. It was my father and my grandfather who taught me to paint when I was 9. Traditional Chinese landscapes, wildlife, flowers and birds. Maybe all my paintings of the island were so I would always remember Penang from that time. When I turned 11, that magical moment happened for me, where I was sent to see the art of one of the most famous masters of all time, Zhang Daqian. When I saw his painting, it was amazing. I kept telling my family I wanted to learn from him. He was the best. My grandfather kind of knew him, so he arranged a dinner so I could meet him. I remember feeling so nervous. I had to do all the old Chinese ways and kneel down and perform the kowtow as a very respectful way to greet him. And I showed him my art. And you know what? He said he wanted to teach me. I was so excited. But my traditional Chinese parents didn't think painting was an appropriate profession for me to pursue, so I didn't get to go. And I was sent to England to study a year later. After I finished high school, I was thinking, how could I pick up my painting? So I talked to my father. I made arrangements so I could study in Taipei because I knew Zhang Daqian visited Taipei a lot. Hoping to meet him again, I wrote him and we met in Taipei. He said he was too old now to take me on, but he wrote one of his best students and sponsored him to teach me. So I consider myself very lucky. Even though I did not become the direct student of Zhang Daqian, I still studied with one of his best students. After I finished my graduate degree at Kansas University in East Asian Languages and Culture, I moved to California and was hired as a bilingual teacher. It's kind of strange now whenever I go back to Malaysia. I came to California in 1982 and consider it my home. It's the place I've lived the longest. And Malaysia feels like the part of my life that is way, way far back. But it's still part of my life. What I like best about California is how multicultural it is, just like me. All my different cultural experiences, my life in Malaysia, England, Taipei, Kansas, California, they remind me of all the different colors of my painting. Each color tells a part of the story, a part of the bigger picture. Each brushstroke brings all these different stories together into a complete, unified vision. When that brush has left my hand for the last time, it has left a permanent material impression on the canvas and on anybody who sees it, including me. So my stories and memories become my legacy in every piece I create. In life, we are all constantly brushing our memories into our own legacies that we leave behind for family, friends, and the world. Creating and brushing. Creating and brushing. Creating and brushing.
name is Ronalie Terry Parr.
My name is Tom Chu. My name is John Miyazaki.
My name is Quincy.
My name is Milo Lam. My name is Julian Ewan.
I was born in Cleveland, Ohio.
I was born in Taipei, Taiwan. I was born in Arcadia, California.
I was born in Pomona, California.
I was born in Saigon, Vietnam. I was born in Honolulu, Hawaii.
I went to Bishop Amat Memorial High School.
I went to Arcadia High School. I went to South Pass High School.
I went to Troy High School.
I went to San Gabriel High School. I went to Wallace Ryder Farrington High School.
My parents are from the Philippines, and it's very common there for when people are having their children that they'll take their first names and put them together. So my father's name is Romy, and my mother's name is Lily. So they put their names together to get my name, Ronalie.
My Chinese name was Zhou Yixun, and there isn't a direct translation of my name. I think my parents went to this fortune teller and get my name aligned with the stars and the zodiac. But I think the literal meaning is flexibility and honor. So I guess I'm pretty easygoing. Right now, I am the oldest person on this stage. And my parents were kind of pseudo-hippies. So they tell me that I was named after John Lennon.
My Korean name is Hanmi. My dad gave me that name. He took the first syllable of Hanguk and Miguk, which means Korea and America respectively, to give me my name, Hanmi.
My given name is Lam Tao Mei. In Vietnamese, Mei is pronounced Mei, and it means America. In English, it's pronounced Mai. So back at Emerson Elementary, Garvey Intermediate, and San Gabriel High School, kids used to call me my nuts. My parents immigrated from Guangdong, China, to Honolulu, Hawaii. I guess you can say they're pursuing what some would call the American dream. 當我同我妹妹出世之後, my parents named me Junhua, my sister Jin-Q. And when you combine the last character of my first name, Hua, and the last character of my sister's name, Q, you get Hua Q, which literally translates to overseas Chinese. It was a way for them to remind us to never forget where you come from.
Thank you. We're here now Theater Company, and we started actually in San Gabriel Valley. We were artists in residence at East LA College, and it's great to finally do a show at home. And we've been around for over 20 years doing shows at colleges and universities and festivals all over the place. And, but there's nothing like being right here and speaking to people that you see on a daily basis. When we do shows, if we can, we do lots of different types of shows. When we do shows, we try to do a folktale if we can at the top, because we believe, even if we don't know the stories that our parents or their parents told, even if we don't know the words, we hope they're still somewhere deep down inside us to be found. So we thought we'd do an oldie but a goodie that is from right here in the SGV, and this one I wrote. It's very close and dear to my heart. Am I not on? Should I use this? Is this better? All right. Yeah, I'm not sure, but here we go. A long time ago, in 1988, the last time that you and I were truly great, because that's the last time the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Championship of Baseball. Oh, sorry. There lived in Monterey Park, California, a suburb of Greater LA, John Sr., upstanding Japanese-American JA community member. Oh, and Mary, his wife, upstanding Japanese-American JA community member wife, lived in a four-wall tract home in Monterey Park, California, a suburb of Greater LA. Oh yes, and Johnny Jr., the John boy, little Johnster, lived in a four-wall tract home in Monterey Park, California. Oh, and one more, Grandpa Massa, who was a veteran of the war, 442, 100th Battalion, most decorated fighting force in U.S. Army history, lived in a four-wall tract home in Monterey Park, California. Oh, you know what? I think maybe this is when I'm coming out, and I come right. There's because there's so many different things. You know, sometimes the sound is a little bit, you know, wacky or off, or you just can't exactly figure out where it might be or what's going to happen. There's just all these, and kids running around with basketballs. And let me see, I'm looking, wow, there's so many, it's so far. Here's Grandpa Masa right now. Oh, yes, come on, give me a hand, otherwise you're coming. There you go. Let's go up the stairs right here, because I only have 20 minutes. There you go, this way. And Grandpa Masa, he was a big part of the family. Right there, very good. On the chair right there, on the chair. Grandpa Masa, he was a bright old soul, and he shopped at Uniqlo, and he had a really cool haircut, and he never wore socks, because that was stylish back then. And some people thought that little Johnny Jr. and Grandpa Masa looked alike. But Johnny Jr. loved Grandpa Masa more than anything. And one morning at breakfast, John and Mary were discussing all the things that life has to offer or not. And Mary was saying to John, you know what, John, as the years go on, I think that our family seems to be getting larger and larger and larger. And John Sr., he humphed as he turned page 6 to page 7 of the LA Times sports section, which back then was section C. And he said over his Magic Johnson news, you know what, Mary, I think you're right. And I think as the years pass on, our house seems to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And Mary, she humped as she poured out a second cup of decaf Sanka brand in the orange label. And so it was discussed over the morning meal, and somebody said these words, but nobody exactly remembers who, said the words, I think we should do something about it. I think we should put Grandpa Masa back in the back shed. Seeing he has lived such a wonderful, rich life, he surely wouldn't mind moving in the back shed, give us a little elbow room. So it was decided over coffee, juice, toast, eggs, and rice, and Spam does a body good, that's exactly what they do. And that afternoon, they packed up Grandpa Masa and all his prized possessions close and dear to his heart and brought him into the back shed. And the back shed was an original domicile of the property, built in the 50s or the 40s or maybe even the 30s. So old, in fact, they said the boards had cracks and creaks and holes. So in the hot, hot summer months in LA, the sun would shine down and cut your body like a knife. In the bitter winter, freezing Arctic cold months in LA, they said the wind would blow and sometimes the rain would even fall. But little Johnny Jr., he loved Grandpa Masa more than anything, and every day after school, he would run right home to see him. He would run home and tell Grandpa Masa about all the things he did in the 4th grade that day. He did this every single day. He'd tell Grandpa Masa about the spitballs he made, the sandwiches he traded for chips, and the girls he pushed in the boys' bathroom. He did this every single solitary day. John Jr. later grew up to be a marathon runner. But that's another story for another day. Usually the theater's not this big, so I hope he stays up. And one day, in fact, the whole year anniversary day of putting Grandpa Masa in the back shed, before John Jr. could regale his tales of the 4th grade, nothing, Grandpa Masa stopped him by putting his hand over his mouth ever so gently. Oh, that's so sweet. And he said, John boy, ne, John Jr., Johnko, Johnny, Ju, John, oh, you have too many names. Grandpa Masa said, go in the house and get me a blanket or a coat, something to protect myself, because I worry that this winter will be so cold, I can feel it in my bones, and that I am so old, I will die unless I have something to protect myself from the winter. And John Jr. leapt up and ran into the house and tried to find something to protect his dear Grandpa Masa with. He looked upstairs and downstairs, the kitchen, the den, all the cupboards and the drawers, but to his avail, he could find nothing at all. Till finally, in his frustration, he looked at the stucco ceiling 10 feet above his head and slowly backed down at his shoes. And there, standing right beneath his size 5 Converse dinosaur sneakers, was a beautiful, thick, plush Oriental rug from Price Club. Standing right beneath where he stood. And he knew that that was the thing for him, and as soon as he saw it, he leapt up and ran into his mother's room and got her best pair of sewing shears as big and silver as the moon and started to cut the Oriental rug from Price Club straight down the center in half. And he worked long and hard, missing all the great cartoons of the afternoon until 6 o'clock gonged on the old gong, and John Sr. was just getting off work and coming off the 60, or maybe the 605 or back to the 10, and finally got off at Atlantic and came south and finally drove up to his front door and opened it up and saw a sight he never thought he would see. There on the living room floor was Jonko, Johnny Boy, John Jr. cutting the Oriental rug from Price Club straight down the center in half. And he hooped. And he said, John Boy, Jonko, Johnster, what in heaven's earth are you doing? And John Jr. looked up. And he said, well, Father, I'm cutting the Oriental rug from Price Club straight down the center in half because Grandpa Masa worries that this winter will be so cold he can feel it in his bones and that he is so old he will die unless he has something to protect himself from the winter. And John Jr. began to cut one more time. And John Sr. took a step back, and he humped one last time. And he said, well, I got the picture. I understand, Johnny Boy. I got it, Johnster. But let me ask you this. Why are you cutting the rug in half? Why don't you not cut the rug in half? Take the whole rug out. That way Grandpa Masa will be doubly as warm. Quite pleased with himself, you must say, smiling as only a JA CEO can. And John Jr. didn't even stop working. John Jr. didn't even stop scissoring. And John Jr. said over his scissors, well, Father, I'm cutting the Oriental rug from Price Club straight down the center in half so that when you get old and gray and I put you in the back shed, I have something to cover up your body when the winter months come. And John Sr., he didn't even hump. And he put his hand on his boy's palm and forgotten how small the crown was in his palm. And he knelt down to look him straight in the eye. He said, John Boy, Jonko, John Jr., let's you and I go get Grandpa Masa and bring him back in the house where he belongs. And that's exactly what they did. They brought Grandpa Masa back into the main house. All his prized possessions, it took him a little while to get all his prized possessions close and dear to his heart back in the house. And some people say they still live there in Monterey Park, California. And some people say they live there quite comfortably. And some people even say they kept that Oriental rug cut in half from Price Club right on their living room floor to remind them what a house is and what home and a family truly, truly should be.
我还记得，当我在整理床铺时，当月亮还未升起前，而雨声与我产生了共鸣。我还记得，我出生就有2条舌头，就在雨露滑入你的窗口前。我的舌头，并没有象征着国旗，或分支成2个党派，一条是绿色的，一条是干燥的。或分支成2块领土，丧命在国家的边界线之中。我的舌头，他们也只是口渴了。我出生在海岸线的边缘，我会一脚踏入水中，一脚踏在沙滩上，为我的表达方式感到肯定，直到在一个喷泉中，我喝出了自己的不同，才发现我并不正常，而我只是个奇怪的东西。
I remembered while I made my bed, while the moon still had yet to set, and the rain fell resonant, I remembered that I was born two-tongued while the dew came in through your window. My tongues, they weren't flags, nor 2 branches, one green, the other dry, nor 2 native lands dying at a boundary line. My 2 tongues, they were thirsty. I was born along the edge of the sea. I would step in the water and along the sand, pleased with my manner of speech, until from a fountain I drank the difference. And I realized that I wasn't normal, That I was a strange thing.
I was born on an island landscape painting. Human bird. I am the first one to escape, escape. Too far, abroad, before. I have a choice to escape, escape, and see. What does this old outside world look like? Motherland? Island? Landscape painting? Escape. Escape. Grandfather. Grandfather. Hungry. I'm alone. Seeking. Seeking. Too far away. Escape. A bird figure. I have a choice. Escape. Escape. I have a choice. Escape. Suitcase. Father. Father. I am dancing. Human bird. I am the first one to escape. Escape. Paint with me. Hungry. How can I survive? Escape. I came here seeking. I am dancing. Pretty dress. Love. Escape. I am dancing. All my life.
Every sea.
We carry our roots within.
And freedom, the horizon.
Citizens of the world.
The earth has no corners.
This is where our ancestors walked.
Clouds of hope, white for years, hanging over reservations and borders.
Throughout conflicts and new holocausts.
Laughter without language.
Citizens of the world.
The earth has no corners.
This is where our ancestors walked.
I am but one sentence.
I am but one sentence.
I am but one sentence in the history of my people.
When my advisor signed off, I was like, yes! Instead of writing a paper on something staid, like immigration policy, or the economic contributions of the undocumented, I'm writing on the narrative thread of the lyrics of Radiohead. Oh, sorry. Are you coming to the meeting? Please say yes. We need your skills. We're making a bunch of signs for the thing, the mock graduation. It's a protest strategy that we invented. For real? UCLA rocks it first. Come, it'll be fun. Oh, and Cynthia took the lead in this thing. She's amazing.
If you are arrested, don't offer any resistance. Be like Mahatma Gandhi. We're all about nonviolence and taking the high moral ground here. ¿Lo entiendes? Bueno. Okay, so since there are so many new people here, which is so great, I want to introduce Tam Tran, the girl behind the camera. She should run for president of our support group, but she says she's too shy.
Hey, shut up.
Tam is our historian. She'll be filming you from behind today, so you better hope you look good from the back. Seriously, if you don't want your face on camera, just don't turn around. Tam will be documenting the mock graduation and filming Stephanie to get some, what do you call it?
B-roll.
B-roll for a short film she's making in support of the cause. Back to your question. The mock graduation is on campus, so it's a safe space. But you might get haters. You might get harassed. You have to run and hide. Use your best judgment. All we ask is you use the ideas we learned in our social violence and social movement and nonviolence class. All right. Oh, and if you need any help with poster ideas, Tam has a list of suggestions. Tam?
Right. Some slogans that we came up with, and feel free to use them. Congress passed the DREAM Act, exclamation point. 1 million likes, also exclamation point. I am an immigrant, undocumented and unafraid.
That is our support group philosophy and why we're doing the mock graduation. Tam?
Hashtag I stand with immigrants. Hashtag dreamers.usa. Also, I am a dreamer and don't deport my dream.
You will be making history as no one has ever staged a mock graduation before. That's all. Carry on, dreamers. Undocumented and unafraid. Nice of you to grace us with your presence, Chica.
So, Cynthia, how's it going?
It's the middle of the afternoon on finals week, and we have a lot of volunteers, so I'm optimistic our message will reach a lot of people. What do you think?
Hey, you actually can spell.
Shut up. I'm serious, Tam. Run for president.
You shut up. And hand me a marker.
I'm stepping down. You step up.
I like being behind the scenes, dude. When I was at Santa Ana College, I did it. It was fine, but it wasn't me. Besides, I really need to concentrate on classes. I'm shooting a film, there's the Scholars program, and I'm shy.
All I'm hearing is blah, blah, blah. Think about it. You'd be great.
What do you think?
Ooh, I'm gonna copy that for my next one. Dude, so I read this thing in English Lit, and it made me think of you, so I memorized it. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Think on that.
Greatness is overrated. I aspire to be average. Oh, wait, I got a text. Weird. My McNair advisor needs to see me ASAP. Sorry, I gotta bail.
Bet it's good news, because I read your paper and it's brilliant. I read the first page and now even I think Radiohead doesn't suck.
That's big of you, thanks. Next, I'm gonna introduce you to Modest Mouse in all their sloppy charm.
If it's not Miami Sound Machine, whatever. And hey, when you're talking to people, take out your earbuds. It's rude.
Oh, are you still talking? Because I'm not listening. XOXO.
Love you too. See you next week for my driving lesson.
Okay. Cynthia thinks it's a social anxiety manifestation. Her dream is to be a doctor, so she's always diagnosing. About the earbuds. She's probably right. If I wear these, I create a mode of stay away, which absolutely works because people respect the music. Or maybe my reticence just comes from habit because I grew up not talking about me or my background for obvious reasons.
Tam, thank you for coming so quickly. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this news. It's not good.
Okay, maybe this is the part I turn around and come back when the news is good.
This is not how you should be finishing up your senior year. You should be finishing up your paper, putting it up for publication. I read the first draft. It's good.
Thanks, Professor. I thought I'd send it to Tom York's manager when it was all done and maybe get to meet the band.
Tam, I really am so very sorry.
Well, maybe I could start over, Dr. Miles. Switch back to my original proposal. Write something more traditionally academic like the impact of legislation like AB 540. I would be at UCLA.
The requirements for the program have changed, Tam.
Oh. I see. How have they changed?
Citizenship is now required. I'm hoping I can still salvage your segment. Not the best news to get before Thanksgiving. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it, Professor. I had a feeling it was all too good to be true.
I still am going to advocate for you, Tam. Fiercely advocate for you. But in this matter, my hands are tied. Try and have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Professor. And thank you for everything. I'm grateful for what I have. I have my amazing mom, my dad, my little brother Lolly, who's already 4 inches taller than me. I have great mentors who give me so much support and a lot of really good friends. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm so lucky.
Last time you made pumpkin pie, it scared your brother. No one likes ugly pie, Tam. No, wrong.
How can I be wrong if I didn't do it yet? Watch. Chỉ dùng lòng đỏ trứng không thôi. Only egg yolks. It's perfect.
Wrong.
So I like a little bit of crunch in it. Okay, fine, I'll fish it out. I still say real Americans get their pumpkin pie from Costco. They're huge, and they don't have a crack down the middle of it. And they're so creamy. Oh, here, Mom, take mine. Keep warm.
How's school?
Good.
Good, huh? What's wrong?
Some bad news, but some good news. I'm making a movie about Stephanie, and I think I got enough video to start editing.
The pretty girl from the Philippines?
Yep, Stephanie, from Highland Park.
And the bad news?
I'm just following her around, filming her being Stephanie. She's giving a speech that we planned for after Thanksgiving break. And Stephanie wants to do it.
Tam, Stephanie will not appreciate it when her family gets deported because of you. You think of that?
But we have to show them we belong here, Mom.
You be careful, Tam. Be careful.
Here's something that will make you happy. My beautiful delusion continues. I applied to grad schools. UCLA, a place called Brown University that's in Rhode Island, and a little school in New Haven, Connecticut.
Why go so far away? UCLA is best. Number one, go Bruin.
Well, now that you're in a good mood, can I borrow your car? I'm teaching Cynthia how to drive, and she needs to practice.
For Cynthia, okay. So, what is your bad news? I can tell something's bothering you.
Thanks, Mom. You're the best.
No hug, no hug. Sick, no hug.
Mom would go ballistic if she knew what we were planning. In her car, a road trip with a purpose. I'm going to make a film about the trip, and I'm thinking to call it The Seattle Underground. It's me, Matthias, Susan, and Cynthia. 16 hours and 50 minutes, 1,135.2 miles from Los Angeles to Seattle. I'm the designated driver, since no one has a license. And that's the whole point of the trip. It's hard to get a license in California, but easy as pie in the great state of Washington. So we'll all go to Seattle together. Cynthia is driving like an ace. She's ready for the test.
I can't do it.
Okay, so I'm just trying to be positive here. Actually, she's really scary behind the wheels. And to make matters worse, I'm going to film her humiliation.
I can't do it.
You can do it.
I can't.
You can. Just put it into reverse. Use your spidey sense.
I hate parallel parking. Are you sure it'll even be on the test?
I'm positive it's going to be on the test.
The car won't fit.
Hey, it'll fit. Use the force.
Oh, I freaking give up.
Doing lessons. Yes, doing lessons.
Shut up, Yoda, and turn that thing off.
Cynthia, pull over and turn off the engine. Why do you want a license? Everyone has one. I have one.
Well, yeah, that's because your folks applied for asylum, so you had a grace period. That's how you got yours.
Yeah, but why do you want one?
Without an ID, it's like I'm a perpetual kid. I can't prove I am who I say I am. I can't prove how old I am. I can't serve on a jury. I can't have a bank account. I can't vote. And I want to vote.
Yeah, I want to vote, and I want to get a passport.
Me too. Then we could go to places like Hawaii.
Ooh, Mexico City.
Paris.
London.
Mount Rushmore. Oh.
You don't need a passport to see Mount Rushmore.
My dream is to see Mount Rushmore. What's your dream?
Lobster and lighthouses in Maine. I heard all the McDonald's in Maine serve lobster in their McMenu.
Tam, let's make a pact. Wherever, whenever.
You'll be a doctor examining a patient, and I'll be a professor in the middle of a lecture.
A text will come.
Meet at LAX. we'll drop everything, pack the Louis Vuitton, and meet at the airport in a chauffeured limousine.
Destination anywhere. All right. So, what do you gotta do?
I gotta check my mirrors. I gotta turn on the engine. And parallel park. Say 3 Hail Marys, because here we go!
Hey, well, that was easy, especially since that car in front left. Are you ready for your next big challenge? Oh, hang on, I got a text. Oh, weird. My boss at the labor center, he forwarded an email to me marked urgent.
We'll read it. And then we'll do more parallel parking.
Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Let me see. Oh my God. The Honorable Zoe Lofgren, a representative from Congress for the state of California and chairwoman on the subcommittee of Immigration, Citizenship, Refugees, Border Security, and International Law, invites you. Oh, is that all? Wow!
But Congress should be asking for you. Not me, it should be you.
No! The Honorable Zoe Lofgren invited you to Congress to testify about the DREAM Act. You, at a hearing in front of freaking Congress!
But I'm nobody.
Text your boss back ASAP. Tell Professor Wong you'll do it because you have to stand in front of Congress. Kick some booty, define a generation. Get the DREAM Act passed. We'll all become citizens because of you. Parade with a marching band, seriously. This is important, Tam.
Maybe we should get boba.
I'm sensing ambivalence.
I'm not a fan of boba. I once choked while drinking on one. Those big round balls of tapioca that pop into your mouth when you least expect it, it's the surprise I don't like. And the choking hazard. When I was a kid, whenever my teacher would call on me suddenly and ask me a question, my face would turn beet red. I'm gasping for breath, and I'm stumbling over my words. And that's how I feel right now, like a little kid, choking on boba, caught in the biggest surprise.
Damn, I'm so nervous I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Sorry about the McNair. That sucks. You were so close to finishing your final paper too. I like Radiohead.
You know how it goes. Nothing good ever belongs to us. I just wish the good would stick around a lot longer.
Yeah, anything good never lasts. Damn, the media are here.
Don't worry, you look amazing. And if you make the news, you'll make a political and a fashion statement.
Cynthia said this was just gonna be a school thing. There are a lot of people here.
You're gonna be great. And if it helps, just picture everyone naked.
Tam, I looked at the stuff you sent me.
Oh, good. You looked at the rough cut. What did you think? And I thought of the title for the film, too. Lost and Found. Your baby pictures were lost, and then they were found.
Well, I'm just not comfortable with all that stuff about my baby pictures. It's so random and kind of embarrassing.
There's only 2 baby pictures of me in the entire world. It's pathetic. And besides, I don't even know what it has to do with being undocumented.
Well, it's sweet. It's honest and it's personal. It's human. It humanizes you, Steph. Just trust me, okay?
Sorry I'm so picky. I trust you. I'm just really nervous. Oh, hey, congratulations on the invitation to Congress. Cynthia told me. When's the hearing?
Oh, it's after Christmas, but I have...
Cynthia's waving me over. Well, wish me luck.
You don't need it, just be you. And I'll be close by capturing everything.
Hi. My name's Stephanie. For years, I grew up thinking I was a regular American student.
Professor Wong. I'm his student intern. Yeah, sure, you could put me through his voicemail. Hi, Professor, it's Tam. I got the email attachment that you sent me. Sorry I can't get back to you any sooner. It's really an honor, but I don't think I'm the person that you want. But thank you for recommending me.
Everything stable in my life centers around food. To me, food is friendly. Food is culture. Food is history. Food is family. Food is love. That's why Tam and I are best friends. We both love food and we are always hungry. I already ordered rolled tacos and carne asada nachos.
Oh, yay, I need some orange gooey cheesy goodness ASAP.
Tam, I gotta ask, are you crazy? What's the matter with you?
You talked to Professor Wong.
Hell yeah, I talked to Professor Wong. Are you crazy? You said no to Congress?
Cynthia, I'm scared. I'm really scared. What if my family gets deported all because I testified?
We can't give in to their intimidation tactics. They want us to shut up. Please, reconsider. Cole can't tell them you'll do it. If anyone can make them understand, it's you.
But I'm not that special, Cynthia. I'm not. I'm ordinary. You know me, I'm not boisterous. I never asked for any of this.
Well, no kidding. None of us asked for any of this. We didn't ask to be born. We didn't ask to be brought here from wherever. We didn't have a choice. So what? So we stop hiding. We must be seen, that's the point.
Maybe we're delusional. We think America wants us. We think we're American. That's our mistake. They don't want us. Oh, she's illegal. That must make her a criminal. Let's throw her out.
We're American, pure and simple. If they see us, if they get to know us. Tam, do what you think is right.
Who are you? And what did you do with my mother? Aren't you going to argue with me? Tell me I'm putting our whole family in danger? I mean, we could lose everything we own, everything we built, everything we love.
Maybe you will be the one to make them see. Make them do what is right. Make them pass the law.
I am proud you are so strong. If I am, it's because I get it from my mom.
Of course you do. Hello. tiny boat, float on sea, eat nothing but hopes and dreams. I congratulate myself for having such a strong, handsome son and a smart, beautiful, brave daughter. Done. Now go get yourself a new boyfriend.
I procrastinate and wait until 3 days before for my flight to DC. I pull an all-nighter and bang out a speech. I send it to Professor Wong and to Cynthia and just about everyone I knew for feedback. Professor Wong sent the first fast reply. Just be yourself. Just be myself. Well, that's the problem. I need to be a better version of myself. I'm just a lowly student. How can I make a difference? But hey, I make my plane and I memorize most of my speech at 30,000 feet. The cherry blossoms along the mall are amazing. Hi, oh, excuse me. I'm trying to find the Rayburn House, room 2131. Okay, yeah, thank you.
This congressional hearing of the Subcommittee on Immigration, Citizenship, Refugees, Border Security, and International Law is now in session. I would like to welcome witnesses and members of the public who are here for our 11th hearing on comprehensive immigration reform.
That's so Lofgren, chairwoman of the subcommittee, presiding.
Today's topic is the DREAM Act. The future of undocumented immigrant students is one topic both Democrats and Republicans agree must be addressed. I would like to welcome our first panel of dreamers, courageous young people willing to be here today. I commend you for your courage and willingness to be with us. Ms. Tran, if we could hear from you.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Tam Tran. My parents escaped the Vietnam War as boat people and were rescued by a German ship. My brother and I were born in Germany and then came to the United States to live with relatives. Once we got here, we applied for political asylum. On the day of my high school graduation, and after living here for 12 years, our petition was denied. We were given a deportation order, but Germany wouldn't accept us because we're not German. So since then, our only home has been the United States. My only home is here. I've been raised as an American since I was 6 years old. I grew up watching Speed Racer and Mighty Mouse every Saturday morning. At home, we celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas. In December, I graduated with honors at UCLA in English literature, and I've been accepted to graduate schools at UCLA, Brown University, and Yale. If I can afford to go,
I would be one of the first undocumented students to ever attend a graduate program, studying filmmaking and American civilization. That's the America that I believe in. A just and fair America. One that lets all of its immigrants, undocumented or not, contribute to the building of the future of this country and keeping her strong. One that doesn't separate families. I issue a challenge to each of you. Look me in the eyes and tell me the rule of law is more important than my future. Look me in the eyes and tell me the rule of law is more important than the contributions that I can make. I hope, I pray that you will do the hard and necessary thing by passing legislation that allows me and thousands like me to stay. I am worth keeping. I am an American. I love this country. Please, let me stay. Thank you.
Just love LA freeways. Nearly sideswiped by an 18-wheeler and almost rear-ended by a cement truck. Always a highlight.
Awful.
How was your day?
Thanks for picking me up. Are you up for tacos?
If you're making, then hell yeah! I love your homemade tortillas. They're so cute and so yum.
It's the secret ingredient.
So like, what's your secret? Is it the salsa?
Actually, it's the sriracha sauce in the salsa.
I knew it!
Oh my God, it's my DEFCON 1 code.
What's wrong?
I can't go home.
What do you mean? We're almost there.
Turn around now.
What's happening? What's wrong?
That was my aunt. My mom, dad, Lolly, they got arrested. They came to the house at like 4 in the morning and busted down the door. My aunt just got there and she found the house messed up. And the neighbors told her that they were still wearing their pajamas. And the officers, they put handcuffs on them right in front of everybody like common criminals. And they took them. And we don't know where they are.
I'm so sorry, Tam. But you can't go home and you can't go back to your apartment. You're coming home with me. God, do you think this happened because you testified?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I do know the solution is not to get quiet and hide. The solution is to get busy and loud.
When we got to Cynthia's, her parents hugged me, and I just crumpled. I cried, I couldn't speak for a few hours, and then I washed my face.
And then she got busy and loud. She didn't eat or sleep. She just hit the phone running.
Representative Lofgren, please. Tell her it's Tam Tran and it's urgent. Yes, I'll wait. Senator Richard Durbin? Hi, I met the senator last week and he gave me this phone number. It's really important that I talk to him. Yes, it's urgent.
She called everyone, even Republicans.
Hello, Congressman Cannon? Thank you for taking my call. Last week we met when I testified at your hearing and now my parents have been arrested. Can you help me?
If they were influential, she called them.
I enlisted the help of every lawyer that I knew, including my boss at the labor center. Professor Wong worked his magic and found out where they were kept. He worked tirelessly to help me, and I consider him family. I thought I'd never see my family again. I've never been so scared in all my life. I love my family so much. It took 3 days. That's a long time when your family is about to be deported. But in 3 days, a miracle happened.
Look what they've made me wear! I have to stand by an electrical outlet for an hour to charge this thing. So ugly!
Oh, that's hideous! I'm gonna have to circle back on the phone calls because that thing has got to go. And I'm gonna make sure you get an apology too. At this rally, we students are one voice. We students are leading the way. We are the voice of opposition, the voice of moving forward. We see corruption and we call it out, just as we did during the Vietnam War and the Civil Rights Movement. We, students, we have the power to move people of good conscience to do something. Because if we don't, then nothing will ever change for the better. Undocumented and unafraid. Undocumented and unafraid.
Si se puede! In 2007, the year Tam testified, the DREAM Act passed in the House of Representatives. Unfortunately, they couldn't find a majority to pass it in the Senate. We came so close, Tam.
Yeah, so close.
Ever regret going to DC and testifying, despite what happened to your family?
Nah, I don't regret it. Not then and not now. Sometimes you have to stand for what's right, even if it's hard, even if you are just a student.
3 years after Tam testified in 2010, she and I were passengers in a car riding along a coastal highway in Maine. We were on break from grad school. Me at Columbia and Tam at Brown University. Lobsters and lighthouses. BFFs on our first real vacation.
We were listening to Radiohead, laughing about something silly, when a drunk driver jumped the median and collided with us head-on. I was 27 years old, and Cynthia, 26. We had so much more we wanted to do, so much more life we wanted to live. You never really know when it's your time. So I guess I have to pass the baton on to you guys. I wish you all a long, happy life. Use your time well. I love you all. Goodbye for now. Rock on. And peace out.